In this video, we're going to practice adding and subtracting numbers that are written in scientific notation. So I actually want you to change this first number to be, this first example to say 4.0 times 10 squared. I want them to already be both in scientific notation. So when you're adding numbers that are in scientific notation, one method is to keep them in scientific notation. The only thing you have to make sure of, though, is that they have the same exponent, which they don't right now. One has an exponent of 3, and the other number has an exponent of 2. So we would want to make them both have an exponent of 2 or 3. So you can decide which one you move, but remember when you move to the left, you add to your exponent, and when you move to the right, you subtract from your exponent. So I'm actually going to choose to move to the left so that I add to my exponent. So I'm going to take this for the second one, the 4, and I'm going to move it to the left, and that'll add to this exponent and make it 10 to the third power. So now we have 3.2 times 10 to the third plus 0.40 times 10 to the third. So we've made them both have the same exponent of 3. Then we add or subtract the first part. So the 3.2 and the 0.4. So 3.2 plus 0.4. Remember, when you add decimals, you line up the decimal place. So we don't really need the 40. So we add those together and we end up with 3.6. And then we write our answer in scientific notation. So it's 3.6 times 10 to the third power. So the hardest part about adding them in scientific notation is getting the exponent to be the same, because it's hard to remember which way you move and when you add and subtract. So another method would have been, and we'll practice this in class, is to just change both of your numbers into standard notation, add them, and then change your answer back into scientific notation. All right, in example 2, we're going to add 2.3 times 10 to the third and 2.1 times 10 to the fifth. So let's start by, we're going to keep them in scientific notation in this video and practice changing them, adding them in scientific notation. First thing you want to do is make sure your power of 10 is the same, which it's not. So I'm going to move this first one, I'm going to move my decimal place 2 places to the left, because remember when you move to the left, it actually adds to your exponent. So that becomes an exponent of 5 because I moved 2 places. So I'm going to add the numbers 0.023 times 10 to the fifth plus 2.1 times 10 to the fifth. So once you have the exponents the same, you can add the numbers, or subtract if it's a subtraction problem. You can add the numbers in front. So I'm going to add 2.1 and 0.023. So if it helps, you can add zeros here so that we add them. Remember, you line up your decimal places. So you get 3, 2, 1. So 2.123. So my answer is 2.123 times 10 to the fifth power. So again, we could have changed our original numbers into standard notation, then added them, and then moved our decimal place back to make it into scientific notation. That's a practice I want to show you in class.